Hey, what's up, guys? Ronin man here. Hey, I want to talk today about what I consider the three movements for guys, and I see a lot of misunderstanding, and I see a lot of kind of almost like protecting the turf or infighting between these three groups. And I really want to be, if there's anything that Ronin man wants to be, it's a bridge, and it's a bridge between the obvious things that are good for men. You know, so the three different movements are pickup, PUA, MRA, men's rights, and MGTOW. All these three different movements have different leaders, and they're very independent. I would say MGTOW and MRA are the closest, because you have a lot of guys who watch both videos. You know, they watch MRA. MRA kind of came out, Paul Elam and you know, An Ear for Men and all these different MRA channels. A lot of them kind of came out at the same time as looks like there's a fish down there or something. Let's see, something big. But basically, these three channels came out at the same time, so you got a lot of a little bit of synergy there, and you also have a lot of rivalry. And I just think, you know, I'm going to make my pitch here. I'm going to make my argument that these all belong together, or that they're all aspects of a healthy guy, of being a healthy guy. And I don't want to, in bringing these together, I don't want to harm anybody, and I don't want to put anybody down. I just want to show, how they're all integral, and they're all another part of the same thing, which is healthy guys, healthy men, right? And I know that a lot of MRAs and a lot of MGTOWs don't really know much about PUA, and it's easy to misunderstand PUA. And the reason is because, one, it has a lot of different people. There's no specific leader, and also you have guys who started the movement who, you know, I think if you watch their videos, can be in some ways, you know, distasteful. Guys like Ross Jeffries, and I don't want to put down Ross Jeffries, because I think he was a leader, and I think the pioneer in any field, regardless of his personal, you know, failures, is very, very important, because he's the one who started it, right? So you got to give props, right? But at the same time, then you get past that, right? You get to a new level as time passes, right? And you have to you know, find that balance between giving props, but also pointing out the obvious. So if there's something that doesn't make sense, you have to say, okay, wait a second, this is not cool. Like, this is not helping anybody, right? And we all have faults, and we all have things we need to improve. So don't, you know, that goes before I start. So I want to give respect to everybody who pioneered every field of helping men, because men need all the help they can get. There's been, you know, 100 years of feminism where women have taken have come so far in their movement, and there's been like nothing for guys, right? There's been nothing except for like losing things one after the other, right? And so I want to talk about these three movements and how they actually are all part of a healthy guy. Okay, so not for every guy at every age. Okay, everybody's different. Like if you're 70 years old, pickup might not be that important to you. I'm not saying it wouldn't be, because there's definitely guys studying pickup at 70, no doubt about it, and really, really fucking enjoying it too. So I'm not saying it isn't important. I'm just saying that it might not be, right? Depending on your situation, right? So let's talk about it. What are the different aspects? What is pickup? Do you guys know what pickup is? Does anybody have any friends that are pickup artists? Like consider themselves good pickup, and what do they do? I'd say the main thing that pickup artists do is that they put themselves in the fire, you know, and they don't wait for something to come to them. They go and get it. So for example, they go to a bar, they go to a restaurant, and they go up, they got their balls in their fucking, take them out of their shorts, and they walk up to the girl and they say something, right? And they start talking. right? And there's all these different strategies, there's all these different types of pickup, and I don't want to say one's better than the other or one's not as good or whatever, but basically that's basically what it is pickup is the ability to meet girls, to be a self-powered machine who doesn't need people to hand them things. So you don't need someone to introduce a girl to you. You don't need a social circle. You don't need anybody to hold your hand. You can go and create it for yourself. You know, you don't need even a dating app, because if you see some girl you like, you just go up and talk to her, right? And there's so many different, obviously it's much more complicated than that. And a lot of the strategies are very complicated and not easy to implement. And this is what I love about pickup artists. This is really what I love about it, is no matter how shitty a guy is at being a pickup artist, in the end, he has to go to a venue and he's got to take his balls out and he's got to go up and talk to girls. And that ain't fucking easy. That ain't fucking easy. It's one thing to go up and be a dick, and then that's easy in a sense because you're not expecting success, right? But to put yourself out there, to open yourself up, and that's what pickup artists do, is they open themselves up. They're opening themselves up to rejection, right? And that's actually what guys fear the most, rejection. And that's why it's so difficult to teach PUA. And that's why there's so many courses and strategies and this and that, right? But that's what I really love about pickup artists, is like cool guys that are studying pickup. A lot of them are young and they're very open-minded and they're really trying their best. They're trying to wear cooler clothes. They're trying to have a cooler haircut. They're trying to have better jokes. They might take an improv class. They admit they made mistakes and they judge themselves based on their real life success or failure, right? So it's not like a lot of things, like with MGTOW, like how do you judge your success or failure, right? You know, a lot of MGTOWs, you know, it's like, what do you say? What is a good MGTOW? When do you know you've done good? Like, when do you know, if you look at KD, Kevin Durant in the NBA Finals, in Game 3 when he drops that three-pointer over LeBron James, like, he didn't just talk about it. He went out and fucking dropped that thing, and LeBron was just, couldn't do shit about it. And, right now people are talking about the changing of the guards in the NBA, right? Because he went and did something and he was tested against the reality of another man, right? Mano on mano, right? And he did it, right? And that's the cool thing. That's when you know you did something, right? You got it. And it makes you feel good too. Pickup, when you study pickup and when you go out and try things, it fucking, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of like get excited. It's like pretty cool. Like, I fucking did it, right? I didn't fucking just sit around and talk about it, right? So that's what I like about pickup artists. I really like that about pickup artists. And if you don't know some cool pickup guys and you don't know their community, you're missing out. There really are some very cool guys in pickup. I know a lot of top pickup guys. As time passes, I'll probably start to interview them on the channel, and I think you might be surprised to know that these are your friends. These are other cool guys who are trying to improve themselves, right? And so let's say that's pickup artists, right? And next thing is MGTOWs. Now, men going their own way. This channel, obviously, a lot of you guys, some of you guys are new, but some of you guys have watched a lot of MGTOW channels, and that is basically not allowing women to control your life, right? So the cool thing about MGTOWs that's so cool is pickup artists, they have an ability to go and meet women, right? So they have an ability to get new women. They have an ability to get something going, to start a fire with no fucking match. You know what I mean? That's what pickup artists do. That's the good, true part of pickup artists. Going out there, putting your balls on the line, making it happen, living with the results, learning what you can learn, and go in again, right? And really learning, not just doing the same thing over and over, right? So that's what you learn there. The problem is when you get good at something, right? So you get really good at meeting girls, that's when you need MGTOW. Because I think MGTOW is ultimately not allowing women to control you. I have friends, guys on this channel who are married, who consider themselves MGTOW, and they're hardcore. They do not let women control them. They will not let a woman be in charge of their life. They will not let, you know, a woman push them around. And what happens with a lot of pickup artists is, again, all these things interconnect. Like, we're just men, right? We're just fucking guys, right? And we're trying different things. And the dirty secret is a lot of MGTOWs did study PUA, because people send me messages all the time saying that they studied PUA. Maybe they had a bad experience, maybe they had a good experience, maybe they stopped doing it for whatever reason, and then they realized that they wanted to go their own way. But I want to say that as much as MGTOW, to me MGTOW, one of the most important things is the management of women and the management of my life, right? So it's not allowing anybody to take control of my life, right? It's like, I'm going my way. If somebody comes in my way, some girl wants to suck my dick, fine. You know what I mean? That's totally fine. She can do that, right? That's totally fine. And if some girl wants to be with me and fuck me, and, you know, like in whatever rules that I have based on what I think is good, important for myself, that's great. You know, the thing is a lot of MGTOWs don't realize, as they've kind of become awakened, as you become awakened to the fact that girls are not fucking princesses, right? Who are out there to help you and your mother. Once you realize that, the problem is then where do you go with it? So a lot of MGTOWs are talking about having no sex at all. So for example, you know, no women, right? And the thing is, if you look at that long term, if you look at what happens to a guy who doesn't have sex with women at all, what happens is, who did it? Who in history has really done that? Can you think of a group? I can, and that's Catholic priests. Catholic priests really gave 1,000-year or more honest attempt to not have sex with women, right? And look what happened. What was the result of 1,000 years, 2,000 years of fucking hard work of guys trying not to have sex with women? What's the ultimate, what is the ultimate result? The ultimate result is you have a lot of pedophiles, you have a lot of child molestation, you have a lot of aberrant behavior because you don't have a normal sexual relationship, right? So that's the problem. That's the fucking problem. The problem is that man is a sexual being, and that man needs that, right? And so when you say, oh, I'm gonna go without it, right? It's fine, you can say that, but think about the future, think about your life. I mean, to not have sex with a woman, it's really a lot deeper and more important than you think. I mean, short term, yeah, for sure, absolutely. You don't want to have sex with women, you want to go your own way, totally. You don't want to see women again, you don't want any trouble with women. That's totally understandable, especially if you lost a lot of money in a divorce, we're screwed over, we're sued, we're humiliated, we're somehow abused in a relationship, and even like violence and physical abuse by women is very common for MGTOWs, because the reason why people join the movement is because they got screwed over, a lot of people, right? So they're like, yeah, fuck, I'm going my own way, right? Now, but where can you go with that, right? If you look at, like I said, Catholic priests, they didn't have sex for pretty much their whole lives. They tried to, and they really gave it a pretty good shot. I mean, let's say what you like about the Catholic Church, but they did actually try pretty hard not to have sex, right? And it didn't work. I mean, if you look at the Catholic Church, has billions of dollars in lawsuits, and the reason why is because they couldn't keep it in their pants, right? And so they did fail, and when they did fail, it was in the worst way. So I think that's what happens when you try to put a cap on it too much, on your sexuality as a guy, a too extreme of a situation. What happens is then you make the big mistakes, right? And that's when you're the weakest as a guy. I think the strongest as a guy is when you keep improving yourself and you don't allow anybody to control you, but at the same time you understand and you're honest with yourself that you are a sexual being, and that that this is a natural thing for you, right? Is that you guys naturally want to stick their dick in the pussy, right? It's like fucking the most basic, simple thing in the whole world. Except for straight gay guys who want to do it another way, right? But it's the same thing. It's like just there's that sexual desire, and it's a natural thing, right? So for guys to try to deny that, or to think that it's going to be easy to do, and that they, you know what I mean, like there's no consequences, is really not the case in my analysis, my estimate. Is that you really need to think about what your whole life, right? Temporarily, I mean, short term, you can do whatever you want. You can say, oh, I don't want to do this, or I want to do that, or, you know, whatever. But look at your life, right? Like, look at your life, especially if you say you're young, you're 22, you're right. You're looking at yourself at like 60 years of living ahead of you, right? You know, I think the decision to be independent and to not let women rule your life is probably the most important decision you'll ever make, in many ways. For me, it's been one of the most rewarding, is that I've never let women control my life. I'm 52 and I've had a great fucking life of freedom that a lot of people would be, you know, are jealous of, right? And it's fucking awesome. So I think the MGTOW movement is absolutely, its time has come, and it's an essential, important part of being a healthy guy. And I also think that by skipping the PUA, by skipping the self-help of men's rights movement, kind of, which is PUA, when you're out there testing yourself, putting your balls on the table, and improving yourself, you know, to leave that aside is really a big mistake in my mind. Now, what is MRA? To me, MRA, essentially what MRA is, if you look, okay, you look at the book review I did of Harry Brown, one of my favorite guys of all time, right? How I Found Freedom in an Unfree World, right? So Harry Brown wrote the book, How I Found Freedom in an Unfree World. And then what he did was, that book basically is MGTOW all the way, right? He's like very independent. He's like, he doesn't, you know, even like, he doesn't want to share toilet paper with women. He wants them to share the cost of toilet paper, right? And so, you know, it's like very hardcore independent, right? But then what happens is, at the end of his career, by the way, this is one of my favorite fucking neighborhoods. It's a little ghetto neighborhood, so I'm kind of gonna walk you around here. But like, it's the king of Thailand. So what an MRA really is, it's a MGTOW who's taken personal responsibility on himself to lead the men's rights movement, right? That's really what it is it's taking a leadership role. It's taking a leadership role in the movement. MGTOW is what an individual does to go independent, to go his own way, right? But in order to go your own way, a lot of the things that hold guys back are actually things like laws, divorce laws, and things that take guys' money away, right? And so what the MRAs are doing is they're doing an important service to the community. Is what they're doing is what they're doing is, the MRAs are doing is, they're saying, hey, you can go alone all you want. Now, I'm not saying you should believe this or do this. I'm just saying here's the stance of the MRAs. Is like, you can go your own way all you want, but at the same time, is if you want, a lot of things are against you, and there's structural things in society, like the divorce court, okay, like the unfair child, you know, giving children to women and taking them away from men, right? There's a lot of things that are just set up structurally that are unfair to men. So what the MRAs are doing is they're saying, hey, that's not right, and we're going to fight to change that, right? Whereas the MGTOWs are saying, hey, you know, I'm not going to waste my time on this. I'm going my own way. I'm Clint Eastwood, and I'm just going to do my own fucking thing and fuck everybody, right? And there is a place for that. You know, there really is. Like, MGTOW is an important, I think if you're going to choose one or the other, I mean, I don't think you have to, is basically what I'm saying. But I think that if you want to choose one or the other, I think the most important thing is to go your own way. Personally, I think that's the most important thing. But if you have extra juice in the tank, if you got extra gas in the tank, why not help other guys who, you know, like you don't have the time, don't have the energy, don't have the money to be involved. So as an MRA, you're saying, hey, I'm going to take time out of my life and I'm going to go and fix these things. You know, as an unpaid guy, I'm going to go out and I'm going to help my fellow men. I'm going to set up life, society in a structurally better way. It's unfair right now, and I'm going to try to fix that. So it's a giving thing. It's a community leadership. That's what MRA is. It's a community leadership, and it's also a giving up of the individualness. You're going for the laws. You're going for, you know, structural things in society, and then you're going to change those, and you're going to fight against those. Now, whenever you fight against society, you're fighting against something that's very difficult to change, right? And so there's a lot of frustration with that, and there's a lot more time involved with that. You can go MGTOW anytime you want, just on your own. You can go MGTOW, boom, you're going independent, right? That's easy, that's done, right? But as far as MRAs, it's different because MRAs are working on long-term solutions for men in general. So I think that PUA is really it's really the self-help, the Tony Robbins, the walking across the coals, you know, and it's the discovery of things inside yourself you didn't know existed, and strength that you didn't know you had, and ability to create things out of nothing. And I think that's a cool thing. I think it's a very positive, enlightening, opening type of movement. I know there's also bad elements to it, no doubt about it, but I'm talking about the heart of pickup. And if you know the heart of pickup, it's pretty cool. It really is pretty cool. And MRAs, I mean, we don't have to talk about that. We already know. MRAs do a lot of good. And I think that long term, guys like Paul Elam, whether you like him or don't like him, he's volunteering his time to help you, to help men of all types. And I appreciate that. I mean, I'm the kind of guy, like, I really appreciate that. I'm not that type. I'm more of a PUA, MGTOW type of guy. But maybe as I get older, maybe I will be more MRA. You know, look at Harry Brown. Harry Brown, my biggest hero. I never ever thought he would do anything other than just for himself as an individual. But he went all the way and ran for president. How you doing? Hey, Sadika. He ran for president, and he gave up his individualness for the group, right? And he got married and did a lot of things that you would have never guessed that Harry Brown would do in the beginning. But I think what it was, here's what I think. I think it was a natural maturing. You know, it was what he started as is like an independent MGTOW. Is, hey, fuck these guys, I'm gonna go freedom. I'm gonna go my own way. And then he said, wait a second. After he did that for many, many years, and he was very successful at it, and he made a lot of money, and he wrote some great books on finance and saving money and making money, and he profited from the currency. The US dollar dropped in the 70s. He made tons of money. So he reached all of his goals as an independent guy. And then he realized, hey, I've got everything. I've got money, I've got women, I've got freedom, I've got successful books that are selling like crazy. You know, like, I've got all these things, and now what am I going to do next? And that's when he said, is, hey, I'm going to go ahead and help other guys, right? And I think that's a natural thing. I'm not saying every guy would do that. I'm not saying every guy should do that. But I'm saying, hey, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, right? And anybody who doesn't really know about MGTOWs, who puts MGTOWs down as some guy living in their basement of their parents' house, you know, they're out of their minds. You know, just blow these motherfuckers off, because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. In the same way, don't write off others. This is my message here, guys. Even if you don't know anything about these other movements, don't be writing them off and putting them down so easy. These are other men really trying to work on the other aspects, because life is not, it's not that black and white, cut and dry. Over your life, you're going to need different kinds of men, you're going to need different kinds of friends, you're going to need different kind of information. You're going to have to improve yourself in so many different ways. So don't cut yourself off from these different things. There might be a time in your life when one of these is very apropos for you, right? It really is useful, right? So I hope I did a decent job of kind of saying what I believe about the different men's movements. And I'd love to hear questions below and any kind of feedback. You know, we're gonna be interviewing more guys in the future and try to get some specifics about the general things that I've said about in this particular talk. So guys, from rainy season from Thailand, I'm signing off on Friday night. Gonna go out, so I'll wrap up a video before I did. So thanks for watching, guys, and thanks so much for subscribing. And a huge shout out to Chris Cantu. Fucking Chris, thank you so much. Fucking awesome message from Chris, and shout out to his followers. And I cannot even, like, I feel like, sometimes I feel like the luckiest guy in the world, you know what I mean? Like, you go out there and you put yourself out there and you meet other people that are putting themselves out there. And anybody who hasn't seen Chris Cantu's channel, go check out his channel. And then first thing you want to watch is his My Story, which is the first video in his channel. I'll put the link below. It's a fantastic story, and it's a long story, and it's like if you listen to that whole story and you're not moved, you know, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you. Because not only is it an awesome story, but he does a great job telling it, and he's funny and he's interesting, and it's just riveting. It's a riveting story. So we all have riveting stories. So I want to hear your stories. I want to interview more people, and I've got an interview coming up which is going to be blow your mind. So I don't want to say what it is yet, but it's coming up very, very soon. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for sharing. Check out our Twitter channel, which is Ronin Man, our YouTube channel, which is now Ronin Man, youtube.com/Ronin Man, and our Facebook page, which is in the link below. So love to have you part of the conversation, and I appreciate your questions, guys. All right, have a great weekend.